Hello viewers, so welcome to my YouTube channel. In this episode today, I will be discussing a very controversial issue about car being stolen in Canada and being found in Africa, West Africa to be precise. So in this episode today, I will be dissecting. The question now is it true that Africans are responsible for this cars being stolen in Canada? And if at all that is the case, is it just Africans that are responsible? What are the things that leads to this, and how can this be mitigated? That is what I'll be dissecting in this episode today. So I want you to take your time, relax, and please watch this video till the end before you can actually make your judgment and make any comment about this, because I know it is very controversial. So I'm going to stay tuned. I will be back. Okay viewers, welcome back to my YouTube channel. I still remember my humble self, MC Bernardino. This is Canada Reality. I dish out content for those that are already in Canada and those that have aspiration to come into Canada. Is this your first time on this YouTube channel? Please hit on the subscribe button, turn on the notification bell so that anytime I drop a video, you always be among the first to get it. And if you enjoy this video, please hit on the likes button, because it helps the algorithm share our video with more people, and endeavor to please also share our video with whoever you feel will benefit from it. Alright, so just like I know that this topic is a very sensitive and very controversial one as that, and that's why I feel that if you want to make any judgment, if you want to say anything, take your time, watch this video till the end, and based on whatever you conclude, before you can actually comment about whatever you want to say. Alright, so this is me just bringing it as an African that is in Canada. I feel this is, I'm part of this, so if I keep mute, it won't really help matter. So that's why I felt that I should delve into this and I should bring it forward. This is me not talking about the normal immigration that I always talk about. I'm doing something different this time around. So now, just like I said at the introduction, that I will be talking about the news that has been around, for the last few years, that most of the cars that are stolen in Canada, they found them in West Africa to be precise. So I'm now here to now talk about it. That is it really true that Africans are the ones that steals this car? And if they are the ones, are they the only ones? Is it just the Africans that are culpable for this? And what can be done to actually ameliorate incidents like this so that Africa will not be tarnished and will not be given bad name? So what actually led me to this video is last week I think there was a nationwide kind of like I call it a symposium, or I want to call it a conference, whereby the Prime Minister of Canada, Justin Trudeau, was present, Minister of Justice, and other stakeholders in the car sector. They were there talking about the huge alarming rate of car theft in Canada. Over the years, the last year, over 90,000 cars were stolen in Canada. If you're in Canada, you want to reckon with me that it is very, very huge. It's a big deal now, that even at the point they say that every 17 minutes in Canada a car is being stolen. Of a truth, I myself, I know of 2 or 3 or 4 of my friends that their cars were stolen last year, some early this year. So it's like a national issue all around Canada, irrespective of the province that you are. And the funniest thing about this car being stolen is that when they go forth, they come back, they always say these cars are sent to West Africa. So I now decided to say, okay, how true is this? Just like I said, as an African, I'm like, okay, how true is it that all these cars that have been stolen, they are found in West Africa? And I will want to, before I even delve further, let's watch this video on a documentary that was done by CBC. Has been stolen in Canada and found in Africa, Ghana to be precise.
Insurance fraud experts are warning of a national crisis of vehicle theft, and a CBC News investigation has tracked down vehicles stolen from Canadian driveways halfway around the world. David Common is in fact in Ghana, reporting on the workings of a vast criminal network that sees Canada as a target.
Here in the West African nation of Ghana, there are a lot of signs of Canada, because if you know someone who's had their vehicle stolen, or if you've had your vehicle stolen, there's a decent chance it's ended up here. Take a look and I'll explain what we mean here. So Dodge Ram here, this one, we took a look inside. There's insurance documents for the original owner, North York, Ontario. It was likely stolen out of their driveway at night, although we are now seeing increasing carjackings, more violence that's used in what is a surging crime in Canada run by organized crime. And the authorities in Ghana are pleading with Canadian authorities to do something about it, to take more action, because in just the Greater Toronto and Hamilton area, 27,000 vehicles were stolen last year. It's not just Toronto either. Take a look. The original license plate from Quebec on this Ford F-150. You know, up here, that's a CRV. This vehicle came out of New Jersey. But for the most part, these are Canadian vehicles. 2/3 of them in this lot seized by authorities here in Ghana. This particular vehicle, see if we can pull it off here. This, we know, is from Ottawa. Reported stolen, was attempting to be sold here. How do they get here? Well, inevitably, when they get stolen, they rapidly get put onto trucks, onto trains, and into the port of Montreal. They are shipped onwards from that point and get to places like this, get to Ghana, but get beyond, get throughout Africa and the Middle East, where they are sold as legitimate vehicles driven by people. And of course, it's costing Canadians dearly as our insurance rates go up to pay for this surging auto theft. David Common, CBC News, Accra, Ghana.
In this particular video, one of the journalists, the journalist that actually did the video, David Common, he went to Ghana to precise West Africa, and they discovered that numerous of those cars that were shown in that lot were stolen from Canada and they are in Ghana. So the question now is that, to a certain extent, I mean, the car was not magically transported to Ghana from Canada. Definitely must have went through some frivolous way. So, and that is why I'm like, okay, then that means there are some people, truly Africans, that are soiling our name. Yeah, so to say, they are soiling our name by stealing cars. I mean, they might not be the one that steal the car. One or the other, they are perpetrators to how those cars found their way into Africa. I mean, this is not really a good image for us Africans that are in Canada. It doesn't really portray us in a good light, because it's not everybody that's in Canada that does such shady stuff. And also not just Ghana alone. I mean, there was this documentary that was also done of some cars that were advertised on gg.com in Nigeria, and they discovered that they were stolen in Canada. I remember David Common also went to Nigeria at a point too, and he did a documentary, and he went to car lots too, and they discovered that some of these cars were stolen, some plate numbers, some personal information of the owners were still found in the car. So then that means of a truth that some Africans in Canada are doing this shady stuff. They are soiling our image in Canada by involving themselves in this not so good activity. So in this video, I'll be taking you through how do they go about stealing this car, what is the process, and also I'll share more video on how this thing is being done. So based on the information that we got from one of the police chiefs during the symposium that I talked about that was held last week, he made us understand that there are different parties that are involved in this car theft. I mean, it starts from who they call the spotter. So the spotter is more like the person that spots the car. So they could spot your car at the parking lot in your front of your garage at the mall. Once they spot the kind of car that they are looking for, I mean, and based on statistics, there are some cars that are highly in demand that they are always looking for. They are always looking for CRV. Under CRV, they are looking for Ford FX 150. They are looking for Toyota Highlander. They're looking for, I mean, some high-end cars, Lexus. This car is spotted by the spotter. So now the next thing is for them to now strategize on how they are going to get the car. Either they want to come and get it at your parking lot, or they want to take it at the mall, wherever they want to get it. Different ways that these cars are being stolen. Some of them, when you put your key fob, when you put it in your house, because majority of the people that drive cars, I mean, even me, we put our key like close to the entrance. That's where we always hang our key. So these perpetrators, when they come, they have this wired whatever mechanism that they use it to intercept your fob wherever. They don't need to have your fob, so they intercept the signal, and from there they can unlock your car. And sometimes if they need to break into your house to get a fob, they do that too. And even if you are driving on the road, if they need to intercept you to get the car, whichever way they want to do, they get the car. And once the car is gotten, then comes the runner. So the runner is the person that picks the car and take it to all probably they'll find a garage or a warehouse where they're going to cool off, where they're going to hide the car for a time being. Before you know it, they drive it all the way down to Port of Montreal. That is where majority of these cars are being shipped out of Canada. So once they get to Port of Montreal, the next thing is they ship it into the container right away, and off it goes out of Canada. And the problem now is that majority of these cars, when they go to wherever they are sending it to, it is very hard. Like I know for African countries like Nigeria, for Ghana, the government will never agree to repatriate those cars. So once those cars is out of this shore, it is gone for good. All right, so let's watch this video on how cars are being stolen. I mean, just watch for yourself so that you can better understand how some of these cars are being stolen. So
here's somebody, Brian, as far as I can tell, just coming in off the street. And what are they? They're checking the VIN, I guess, there, right?
Yeah, they just had a look at the VIN with their cell phone. They took a look at that.
And that's the number that we all have on our dashboard. And why does that matter?
Yeah, vehicle identification number. They're just either looking to see if it's the same one that they saw earlier or the one that they're after. And now you can see that they're punching the lock on that door to open it.
And see, right now, what they're doing, they just saw a car go by. And so it's kind of like this funny combination of high tech and no tech, right? Like the no tech part is they're just hiding, crouching behind the car to try to, not get caught. But the high tech part is they're going to figure out how to defeat the anti-theft system here.
And now they've gained entry into the vehicle. And this has all the characteristics of a reprogramming theft, which means they've plugged their device into the onboard diagnostic ports, the OBD port, and they're able to reprogram a key fob and start the vehicle and drive it away.
Okay, let's look at another video of a car being stolen. I find this one particularly disturbing because of what this guy is about to do with the device. Describe this one for me.
Yeah, so far, just the fact that he's walking towards the front door. So this has the characteristics of what we call a relay attack. So he's got what appears to be an antenna or an extender. They're trying to communicate with the key fob, which was in the house.
So the homeowner here has their key fob inside their house, right? Like they assume that that's safe. And then that device that guy has on his backpack, it's somehow able to activate the key fob and then transmit. So it's as if the car owner is actually pressing the key fob to start the car. That's who contacted us, Don Carter. He has a Lexus that was stolen on January the 5th. And we're going to look at that video. And he figured everything right. He had his key fob in this Faraday bag. He used a data port lock. So as I understand it, a device you slide into that data port so that the thief can't. But take a look at what happens to his car.
As technology has advanced and it's harder for them to steal, you would think it would be tougher. But their equipment, their technology is so advanced. What used to take 10 minutes, 20 minutes to steal a vehicle can be done as quickly as seconds, 15, 20, 30 seconds to steal a vehicle now.
And as you said, it doesn't have to be out front of the house. It could even be, at the mall parking lot. I'm going to show one last video sent in to us by a gentleman named John Doig. He had a Jaguar. The police told him basically his car was ordered, and there was an order for a Jaguar, and that's why it got stolen. And as we look at the video, let me ask you a question I'm sure a lot of other people have. What's some basic advice on how to, sounds like there's no advice to completely theft-proof our car, but to reduce the chances?
Yeah, so good question. And really, it's a layered approach. We always suggest if you have a vehicle that's susceptible of theft, try and block it in, park it first. This particular vehicle is actually pointed towards the roadway and then susceptible of being stolen. If you can park in your garage, that's a great deterrent and of protection of being stolen. So I'm just watching this individual walk towards the car. The fact that nobody's walking towards the front door suggests, and it looks like he's bending down towards the area of where that OBD port would be. And then there's a bit of a jump in time. And this again would have the classifications and the characteristics of a reprogramming.
This video, you can see obviously for yourself the various mechanisms through which cars are being stolen in Canada and being shipped out of Canada. So I want you to also watch this video of an unfortunate thief that was trying to steal a car. In fact, these people, they broke into the house and they tried to steal this car, but they were apprehended by the police. So watch this video.
Three masked men approach a Brampton, Ontario home in the middle of the night. Moments later, they smash through the front door.
I hear a really loud bang, like boom.
18-year-old Gurbaj Sangera went downstairs and saw the three masked men inside his house. They started running and he chased after them.
And I'm screaming as I'm making my way over here, so hoping my brother, my dad, somebody hears.
The security video shows two of the men running away while another gets into an Audi parked in the driveway.
He's got the keys for this Audi right here.
Yeah. He has the keys, my brother has the other keys.
The man stole the keys from inside the house, but he wasn't able to start the car.
He realizes he's not getting this
He
car.
realizes he's not getting it, yeah.
So he tries to run.
He tries making a run for it.
He doesn't get very far.
My brother, my dad, and me are surrounding him, trying to, get him to the ground and stuff.
They were able to pin the man down until police arrived and arrested him. This family was lucky. Many of their neighbors were not.
This video, you could see for yourself that those thieves, they broke into the house, they got the key, but luck ran out of them because the owner, the occupant of the house, they called the police and they went after them and they were able to track one person down. So these are the ways through which these unscrupulous people steal cars in Canada. But what me I'm more concerned about is the African part of it, because to be sincere with you, when you go front, when you go back, most of them, they always say they find it in West Africa, they find it in Africa, they find it in West Africa. But that is why it is very painful to me, because I'm an African person, and the way, you remember the last video that I did that I talk about racism in Canada, right? The way these people look at us, they look at us as shit. They look at us as thief. And when things like this make the headlines in the news, and the next day you go to work, your boss, your colleague knows that you are from Nigeria, the kind of look they give you, I mean, they might not call you a thief outrightly, but deep down, they're looking at you, they're looking down on you, I mean, because they feel that you are part of the court. So that is why, for me, I get concerned about it, and I feel that I should bring it to the front burner and discuss about it. So let me know what you feel about this in the comment section. So now let's talk about the other angle of, is it just Africans that are involved in this? No, it is not just Africans that are involved in this car theft in Canada. But the sad part of it is that it's just Africans that are always being mentioned about it. I remember last year, Peel Region Police, they apprehended some group of thieves, syndicate of thieves that steals car. And I can tell you of the truth, based on the picture they posted, maybe 2 or 3 of the 15 that were apprehended are blacks. So some of them are from the Middle East, because information we also have is that if not Africa, some of these cars are shipped to Middle East. Some of them are even shipped to Eastern European countries too. So Dubai is not left out, UAE is not left out. So it's not just Africa. But I'm more concerned of Africans are part of it because I'm an African person. So the negative impact of these cars being stolen in Canada, the negative impact is that even we that were in Canada, we are being adversely affected by this, because our car insurance is going up, because most of these car insurance companies, when they say that you got a new car and it's probably a high-end car, they tend to increase the insurance premium that you pay. So we are being affected by this, and everybody's complaining about inflation, huge cost of things, and now we're still paying for huge insurance rate. So this is me saying that I'm rather actually pleading to some of us Africans that are in Canada, that are in overseas, I'm talking about Canada for now anyway, that we should try as much as possible to not get ourselves involved in these shady businesses. Because let's just see ourselves as someone that they want to slaughter. I mean, the whites want to slaughter, they're looking at every opportunity to slaughter us. When we begin to give them something like this, then we are probably just nailing ourselves the more. And we're not just doing this for ourselves alone, we are doing it for our generation that are coming after us. So what I'm more saying is that if we don't want ourselves to be painted in bad names by these people here, we should try as much as possible to do better. There are a lot of Africans in Canada that are doing nice, they are doing great things. They are doing very well in their various niche. They are doing good stuff for themselves. But the bad ones are giving us that negativity, and it's not helping us. Because at the end of the day, when these people want to generalize, when they want to do their stuff, they just generalize and just say, African is shito. They just generalize of everybody together, which is not nice. And that's why I feel this is more like me pleading with those that are involved in this shady kind of stuff to actually stop that, because they're giving us bad names. So, and that's why I said that if you're watching this video, this is not me taking side, because I mean, some people are not just patient enough to watch video to listen to what I say. I remember the last video that I dropped about why Africans are leaving Canada. I mean, some people were nice enough to actually understand, digest the video, while some people, I probably didn't really watch the video, so they were just making some erroneous conclusion in the comment section. That's why I said, take your time to actually, so this is not me castigating Africa, but rather this is me pleading, because to be sincere with you, it is true that some Africans are stealing these cars, or they are part of these gangs, this cohort that steal this car, and because there's no way this car goes to Africa. So this is me like pleading with them that they should get themselves something better doing than getting themselves in this shady stuff that throw all of us in bad images. All right, so now let's talk about how can we mitigate this car theft in Canada. If you're in Canada, this concerns you anyway. The first thing I want to tell you is that you want to make sure that if you're driving a big car, always make sure you park your big car in the garage. And if you live in a house that you don't have a garage, make sure that big car is not parked behind at the rear. Rather park it in the front and put probably a small car that is of less value right behind it, so that you make it difficult for those thieves to steal your car. And in addition to these two, if you're in Canada, make sure that you do not put your keys, your key fobs, close to the entrance, so that it's easy for them to read the signal from outside. In addition to this, lock your door. And there's this pouch that is called the Faraday lock pouch, whereby if you put your fob, your keys in there, when they are outside trying to get a signal from it, it is very hard for them to do that because of that special pouch, that Faraday special pouch. In addition to this, another way you can actually mitigate car being theft, another way you can actually mitigate your car being stolen is people are now reverting back to the olden days ways of doing stuff. I remember then when I was in Africa, our dad used to use the gear lock. So people are now reverting to that in Canada too. Now they're using the gear lock, they're using the brake lock, the steering wheel lock. They're doing that too now, just because they want to safeguard their car. Because at the end of the day, if your car gets stolen, then you have to go through insurance. If you're good with the insurance, you're paying your premium and all the information you give them is correct, then you can be sure of reimbursement. But if the reverse is the case, my brother, your car is gone, then you have to repay the money back to the dealer where you actually got the car in the first place. So more like we should try to safeguard our cars, so that these thieves that goes around looking for cars to steal will not be able to probably steal your car. Alright viewers, I hope you actually understood this video. If you do, please hit on the likes button. If you have any question, any concern, feel free to drop it in the comment section. In this video, I've just told you how cars that have been stolen in Canada found their way to Africa, West Africa to be precise. And also in this video, I also said that it is not just Africans that are being involved in this. Despite the fact that it's not a good, I'm not trying to exonerate Africans, but I'm just saying that it's not just Africans. So just the way it's been portrayed in the news in Canada, it's not just Africans that steal this car. Other countries are also involved. We've seen Indians, we've seen people from the Middle East. But what I'm just saying in essence is that the Africans that are involved in this should not continue to give us bad name. Rather, they should change for the better and do something meaningful with themselves, so that they will not give a bad impression for those that are outside Canada that wants to come into Canada. Because if they continue to do this, then they continue to throw us under the bus. They continue to throw Africans under the bus in Canada. And the whites, they begin to look us as shito, as thieves, which is not really good. So if you feel you enjoyed this video, once again, hit on the likes button. And if you haven't subscribed, please subscribe. Till I reach you again on this YouTube channel, where my humble self, MC Bernardino. What do I know? I'm just a YouTuber. Thank you for watching. See you in my next video. Peace out.